Good morning, everybody. This is a marvelous. I'm back. Thank you for stopping by. Thank you for your attention and your time, because those are things you just cannot get back, no matter how much you try. I'm on my Tupac stuff today. I'm about to churn out a lot of videos. I'm feeling kind of productive, but this particular video, it just came to me. Felt I had to do it, and it's the importance of morning rituals to have a productive day. And reason why I do that is because this year, the resolution was, well, I don't like resolutions, but one of the goals was to basically be more happy every day for 365 days than not happy, which means negative emotions less than positive emotions. Most people, they want to get money and all of this stuff, and forget all that. Your internal being dictates how much money you make, and your actions actually. So I want to say the importance of a morning ritual. When you wake up, it's kind of like you just came back from dying, because every time you go to sleep is death. You can't smell when you are sleeping, and a lot of stuff that you get in forms of dreams and things like that, they don't come from this realm. They come from elsewhere, other inputs, in the universe. So you die when you go to sleep every night. So to get back up is like you came from death. That's a miracle. It's like a resurrection. So there's a certain type of gratefulness that you have to have when you wake up. For a long time, I kind of took that for granted. But lately, I've noticed that that's important, because it helps you wake up with purpose. I'm a real estate broker, about to get out of real estate because real estate is trash now. But I noticed that when you're always busy and you're always on the go, whether you have a job or whatever it is, especially if you're on a money chase, or because we're slaves to technology now, the first thing to do is to jump out of bed, or the first thing to do is to get to work, even if you're late. And I never forget, I was in college, my first girlfriend in college, freshman year. We got close after a while, lived together and all that good stuff. And I used to just rush out to bed. I gotta make this money, gotta make this money. I was a pure slave to cash. And she's like, yo, calm down. What are you doing? Relax. And it hit me. I was like, you know what? You're right. Because I was on autopilot. I was like, I gotta make this money. And, even fast forward now as I'm much older, I have to stop those habits, you know what I mean? Of just rushing to grab something or rushing to go, and just take my time. It's okay to just lay down. It's okay to do nothing. It's okay to be lazy. In this culture, we're so committed to progress that we neglect ourselves. So morning ritual is important, and it also helps you practice self-love, because without self-love, pretty much nothing is possible. If you don't love yourself, it's gonna show when you talk to people. It's gonna radiate the negative emotions that you have, and for a while I was guilty of that. So this year, the commitment is for 365 days to be in a positive emotional state over a negative emotional state. And I've noticed with morning ritual, that's helped me out a lot, and that's where meditation comes in. Meditation is important. Meditation allows, the scientific part, meditation actually helps your neurons operate better. It helps your brain capacity process better. It helps link the hemispheres, link the neurons and the synapses to communicate better. And the ability to think about nothing is difficult, because if you think about it, at the root of things, the root of problems is thinking. Because thoughts are things. They're like, having a thought is like having a child. But most of us don't take care of our thoughts or our children, and we just think them and let them roam out there. But they have pulses, they have vibrations, they have energies. And when you're not mindful of that, they just float out there and they link up to other thoughts that have similar vibrations, and they form a legion or an army of a cloud that hovers over anyone that has the same vibration as those clouds of thoughts. When I'm gonna start my book segment today. That's from a book called The Wisdom of the Mystic Masters, one of my favorites. And I said, it's interesting. So morning ritual is important. And what I've been doing for some time off and on is before I meditate, I don't take no appointments in my mornings. I'm selfish with my mornings. I've had people say, oh, you're a real estate broker. I want to come see it at 9 o'clock. Hell no. I'm not jumping to the tuna show. No one in the apartment at 9 a.m. That's my time. That's my selfish time. That's for me to keep my sanity so the rest of my day can be productive. I'm not hopping to anyone's tune. And you have to get to that point. A lot of times with money, we let money control us, but we don't control money. You know, you have to discipline yourself, and you have to discipline money to respect you. Because if you're always chasing money, money's not gonna respect you. It's like when you're always chasing a woman, um, and you're always chasing women. It's like you don't master attraction. You know, money is about attraction. All this slavery and I gotta get it. I gotta hustle my soul. You know, anything from index cards. Nah, forget all that. It's about attraction. What you attract is important. So what I started doing was I started playing instrumentals, and right now what I'm on is this Cam and Kanye, because Kanye's a genius. He uses a lot of soul samples, but morning ritual is crucial because morning ritual allows you to get in touch with yourself. It allows you to purge the emotions and the thoughts that you had the prior day or the previous days and get it out your system. You know what I mean? It allows you to really start again. It allows you to reprogram. And that's why the ancients, like the Egyptians, they seen each day as a god. Each 365 days, each day was a god. And that is the purpose of astrology and astronomy, because lining yourself up with the days in the universe allows you to be in harmony with nature and your surroundings. Even if you're in the concrete jungle, even if you're in an urban environment, there's the first destination is your home. So you have to be aligned with that. So each day is a god. So you have to treat each day like it's different, you know? So in doing that, you do that by your morning ritual. You know, your meditation, definitely. One of my old teachers who really changed my destiny, won't say his name, we'll just call him Virgo out in Florida. He changed my destiny a lot. And I used to watch him do this. He used to dance. He used to say, dance every day, because dancing allows you to be in harmony, no matter how silly you look. And dancing actually works your inner muscles. And these are natural workouts. Most people lift weights and go to the gym, but they can't do 30 minutes growing a garden. And I did grow a garden. I did farm and plant in Florida, and it's different. It's hard. You know, like people work out and buff, but working out destroys your organs, you know, but people do it anyway. But if you do like martial arts, if you do any kind of gardening, field work, meditation, breathing actually helps you get rid of weight. These are rituals that you should do every day. So I meditate every day. And I picked up dancing again because dancing is therapeutic. It's another form of meditation. It keeps you active, and it does work muscles that you can't work out when you're weightlifting. And it actually is a good social tool when you go out. So that allows me to practice self-love. And that's a lot of things that we don't do. Even when we get our paycheck, we don't practice self-love. The first thing we do is pay a bill, or the first thing that we do is we spend it in other areas. No, the first thing you do when you get money, any money, if you find $20 on the floor, you got to pay yourself first, you know, and that's going to go into other books that I review, but you got to pay yourself first, and that's important. And all of this, practice self-love. And I notice a lot of times, and I'm definitely going to do a video on this, people, they sacrifice their principles and they do a lot of stuff, and they say, oh, it's not putting money in my pocket, and that's why. People that say that, you got to watch them, because what they're really saying is they're running away from themselves, and they're tired of a certain state of condition that they're in. So instead of dealing with that condition, they're going to like chase everything to get money, and it doesn't work like that. You got to focus on one thing, and you got to work hard at that one thing, and then you got to get your internal right, and then what you want will come. Reason why most of us don't have what we want, A, is because we don't have these rituals, whether it's in the morning or not. But even we don't have morning rituals, and we don't stick to one thing that we like. If you like something and you stick to it and you get in front of as many people as possible, over time, it's just the law of averages. You know, it just happens. And most people don't do that. So don't be a slave to money. I used to tell people, if I'm in the cardboard box, I'm not sacrificing my principles for money. That gives you a certain strength of character. It shows yourself that you're not going to be swayed because of conditions and circumstances, and it shows that you have the test of time to endure hardship. Most people don't know how to endure hardship, and that's why I stayed on the entrepreneur route, because That was something that I devoted myself to doing. You have to learn how to endure hardship because you will be okay. Even when you're not, you will be okay. And things will work out. They might not work out how you see it or when you see it, but they do. And a large part of that is having a morning ritual. Have something every day in the morning that you commit to show self-love, that you commit to heal yourself, you know? And that's important. And most people don't do that. So that's why I wanted to make this video, to get people that do watch. Again, I appreciate your time, and get in the habit of a morning ritual. If you have to be selfish to yourself in the morning, do it. Who cares what anyone says? Be selfish to yourself, because what that's going to do is it's going to give you a foundation when you go out in the public and deal with people. It's going to make it harder for you to be swayed. It's going to make it harder for you to get into fights. It's going to make it harder for you to get on other people's agenda. You're going to always stay on your agenda. So morning ritual is important. You know, it doesn't matter how long it takes. There was times when I tell people I'm not scheduling no appointment before 12. I'm not doing it. That's my time. That's my time to focus, to plan, chart out my day. And it's going to practice me not rushing. I will not show you an appointment at 9 o'clock. For what? Are you prepared? Someone really has to be ready with money. If money will make me get up in the morning, but it has to be almost definite. I'm not going to do it on a chance. And that's something that everyone has to cultivate. Even if you have a job and you have to get up early, you can still break your mornings up into 5 or 10 minute increments. When you wake up, you could say, okay, I'm going to lay here for 10 minutes and just love myself and make sure that the thoughts that I have are nurturing and about me. I'm gonna meditate for this 10 minutes at least. You could do that. I am gonna just do this action that makes me happy. If it's being silly, cartwheels, whatever it is, I'm gonna take this 10 minutes, late or not, and I'm gonna devote it to myself in order for my day to be productive. And that's what has to happen. So rituals in general, everything you do is a ritual. Brushing your teeth is a ritual. Going to the bathroom is a ritual. Everything you do consistently and habitually is a ritual, period. Thing is, when you have a purposeful intention and do a ritual for a particular purpose, then you start to make things happen. Then things start to take a life of their own, you know? And that's when momentum happens, is when you do the same things all the time, and the momentum builds up so much that it takes on a life outside of yourself. So that's important. So I did this so people watching can get in the habit of making sure that their mornings are to themselves, even if you're busy. Even if you're busy. If you have to get up early and go somewhere, you can take 5 or 10 minutes to yourself, 15 minutes to yourself, and do something that makes you happy. As long as you're not harming anyone or causing a burden, anything you do is fair game when it comes to making sure that you're happy. It's not crime, it's not criminal, you're not harming anyone, and it's not a burden. So everything is fair game, because your happiness is what's important. So morning rituals are important. I always play instrumentals. It does a few things for me. Playing instrumentals allows me to get the meaning of the song without the words. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like I have the feel and the intent of the song that I like, but I can implant my own emotions and thoughts as if I'm the one that's over the beat, and that makes it a whole new song. It makes it a whole new feel. And then when you zone out, you calm your body down. So that's one thing I do. I play instrumentals. Another thing, obviously, meditation. Meditation doesn't have to be where you get in crazy positions and things like that, because when you first meditate, it's not going to be easy. You have to give yourself 90-day run to properly meditate. The first 90 days, it's like you're not even meditating, because you're going to have so many thoughts going that it's going to be like a movie. Treat it like a movie. Like when you sit still, because you're so used to motion, these thoughts are going to come. So just watch it like a movie, and then you'll be surprised how random your thoughts are. Think about that. When you don't do that, this is how your mind is going, constantly on, firing. But when you sit still and you actually get to watch all of these random, unrelated thoughts come, you're going to say, wow, this is what goes on every day. These are all of the children that I'm having that I'm not taking care of. So meditation allows you to take care of your children, which are your thoughts. and to actually see how unrelated your thinking is, how much worry you have, and it gives you the practice of slowing that down. So that's important. You know, it doesn't have to be fancy. Sitting still is meditation. Letting the thoughts just pour out is the beginning phase. Give yourself 90 days before any results, because meditation, if you're not used to doing it, you're talking about years of other people's thoughts in your head. You're talking about years of TV. You're talking about years of programming that are buried in that we don't allow to uproot. You got to treat it like a garden. You got to take the weeds out, and that takes a lot of time. So give yourself 90 days for meditation. So morning rituals, suggestions, play instrumentals, because it gives you the feel of the meaning of that song from the artist that did it. And at the same time, because you like the beat so much, you associate a positive feeling to it. So whatever thoughts you have or feelings you have, it's like you're creating a whole new art in that song that's yours and no one else's. So that's one. Two, meditation. Meditation allows you to kind of stop, and it allows you to assess and see all the craziness that you have going on in your head. So that's two things. Dancing. Dancing allows you to stay active while staying still. You know what I mean? You don't have to running on concrete, all that. I see people here, especially where I'm at, is so everyone's running on concrete. They have this hustle and bustle, but you're running on concrete. That's not good for your joints. It's not good for your bones, and you're breathing car exhaust. Dance. You know what I mean? People don't like doing the simplest things. Dancing. Dancing is something you could do at home. You could be creative with it. You could do it on your own. I'm about to dance after I do these videos, you know, and dancing allows you to check your rhythmic pulse. It also allows you to be free, because if you could look silly, and it's hard to look silly in front of yourself, you know. There's a saying that says you shouldn't do anything you do, you should do as if 1,000 eyes are watching you. So it's like dancing by yourself, you know, it's like, what the hell are you doing? It's silly. But if you could look silly in front of yourself, you'll definitely be comfortable looking silly in front of other people. And that's important because it relaxes people. And because I'm a serious person, you know, but I also like to clown. I'm two people. So that allows you to be comfortable with not being perfect. It allows you to actually say, hey, listen, I could be silly. I could be, you know, a comedian, and I could be less than perfect, and it's okay. So dancing. So those are three things that I suggest. Definitely water. Water habit is important. Like, one of my goals is to buy 365 gallons of water to make sure I do a gallon a day, you know, but I'm going to get there. There's certain things I'm going to get to. 2-month fast with just water, before I'm 40. Have 365 bottles of water just around me, gallons, you know. But drinking water is important, because it's kind of like that's a habit that takes cultivating, and drinking water actually helps you, you know, release weight. It makes you healthier, you know what I mean? And that in itself is meditative, because whenever you reach for a bottle of water, notice water will come when you're real thirsty, or when you're exhausted, or it's hot, or when your body's just parched, you know. So reaching for that and drinking that is meditative, because it's quenching something that your body feels like it needs and it's lacking, you know. So, you know, I was taught before you speak a word, you should rinse your mouth out, because you don't know where you've been when you're sleeping and in your dream state. So when you speak, you might speak something, even if it's positive intention, it might come out negative. So I do my best to kind of rinse my mouth out before I speak. This way, when I speak to somebody, it's positive. I was taught that also by my old teacher, Virgo, who taught me a lot. But that, you know, I looked it up, researched it, and it's true. Get in the habit of rinsing your mouth out. You know, these rituals are important. These are things that you commit to make sure that your day starts properly, you know. So with that, I might do a part 2, but I did this with love and care to everyone watching. Have a morning ritual. I could give 2 shits what bills are behind. Love yourself first. Don't be a slave to progress. Don't be a slave to money, because if you don't love yourself, no one else will as much as you. And people say that, love yourself, but it becomes so cliche and vague that you got to kind of get specific and define what that is. Morning rituals, the path to self-love, is what this video is about. So cultivate that. It's going to feel awkward at first. You might already have it. Fine-tune it, add to it, package it, make a video about it, make a book about it. But morning rituals are important. especially if you could do from like 5 to 7. Even if you can, it's cool because I'm a night owl. I read and study religiously, so I don't go to sleep till like 1, 2, 3, 4 in the morning, like every day, and that's not good. But nighttime, from 2 to 6 in the morning is when the serotonin processes in your brain, and that's also if you're up during that time, 2 to 6 in the morning. Even though that's up late, that's also increases your psychic awareness because the type of thoughts that come to you at like 3 in the morning is addictive. Like if you ever been up that late, you have all type of like ill thoughts that come to you. So that's why I like it. Like there's no nighttime is like my time. But I do this with love. Morning rituals, the path to progress for your day. Each day is a guide, so treat it as like that, and your day, will be productive. So thank you for your time, and I really appreciate it. And I will see y'all soon. Peace.